Hi, it's Mimi at Giggly Guppy. Today we're going to be reading The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. We're going to be reading chapter 7, which is called Intention 1. And we're still in the creation section. Intention 1, chapter 7. Not all forms are physical. A thought, for example, is a form. What is a thought formed out of? A thought is energy or light that has been shaped by consciousness. No form exists without consciousness. There is light, and there is the shaping of light by consciousness. This is creation. Energy continually pours through, entering at the top of your head and descending downward through your body. You are not a static system. You are a dynamic being of light that, at each moment, informs the energy that flows through you. You do this with each thought, with each intention. The light that flows through your system is universal energy. It is the light of the universe. You give that light form. When you feel, what you think, how you behave, what you value, and how you live your life reflect the way that you are shaping the light that is flowing through you. They are the thought forms, the feeling forms, and the action forms that you have given to light. They reflect the configuration of your personality, your space-time being. You change the way that you shape the light which is flowing through you by changing your consciousness. You do this, for example, when you challenge a negative pattern such as anger and consciously choose to replace it with compassion, or when you challenge impatience and consciously choose to understand and appreciate the needs of others. This creates different forms of thought, feeling, and action. It changes your experience. Every experience and every change in your experience reflects an intention. An intention is not only a desire, it is the use of your will. If you do not like the relationship that you have with your husband or with your wife, for example, and you would like it to be different, that desire alone will not change your relationship. If you truly desire to change your relationship, that change begins with the intention to change it. How it will change depends upon the intention that you set. If you intend that your relationship with your husband or your wife becomes harmonious and loving, that intention will open you to new perceptions. It will allow you to see that love. It will allow you to see the love that your husband or wife expresses for you in his or her own way, if that is the case. It will allow you to see the absence of that love, if that is the case. It will reorient you toward harmony and love so that you can see clearly from that perspective what is necessary to change your relationship, and if that is achievable. If you intend to end your relationship, that ending begins with the intention to end. This intention will create in you a restlessness. You will feel less and less fulfilled with your mate. You will feel an openness to others in a way that you have not felt before. Your higher self has begun the search for another partner. When that partner appears, you will be drawn to him or to her, and if you accept that partner, which also is an intention, a new path will open for you. If you have conflicting intentions, you will be torn because both dynamics will be set in motion and opposite and oppose each other. If you are not aware of all of your intentions, the strongest one will win. You may have a conscious intention to improve your marriage, for example, and simultaneously an unconscious intention to end it. The unconscious intention to end your marriage is stronger than the conscious intention to improve it. The dynamic of restlessness, lack of fulfillment, etc., eventually will overcome the conscious intention to become loving and harmonious within your marriage. In the end, your marriage will terminate. If the conscious intention to transform your marriage is stronger than the unconscious intention to end it, and if your husband or your wife is essentially supportive, you will succeed. But the dynamic of opposing intentions within you will produce confusions and anguishes, perhaps for both of you, as you become open to new perceptions of love and harmony within your marriage and simultaneously experience restlessness, lack of fulfillment, and openness to other partners. This is the experience of a splintered personality. A splintered personality struggles with itself. The values, perceptions, and behaviors of a splintered personality are not integrated. A splintered personality is not conscious of all the parts of itself. A splintered personality is frightened. It fears aspects of itself that threaten what it seeks and what it has attained. A splintered personality experiences the circumstances within its life as more powerful than itself. A splintered personality that has a conscious intention to improve its marriage and a stronger unconscious intention to end it, for example, will feel after the collapse of its marriage that despite its efforts, despite even its best efforts, things did not work out as it intended. That is not so. They worked out exactly as it intended, but because he or she had held conflicting intentions, much turbulence, so to speak, was created in the flow of the light through that person. In conflicting intentions, if inflicting, my goodness, if conflicting intentions are nearly balanced, and if a personality is not willing or able to acknowledge that an aspect or aspects of herself or his self stand opposed to her or his conscious intention, severe stress and emotional pain result. These can cause states of schizophrenia and physical illness. In less severe cases, the anguish can be just as painful. A splintered personality is a personality in need of healing. As a personality becomes conscious and integrated, it heals those parts of its soul that incarnated in order to be healed. The light that flows through a whole personality is focused into a single clear beam. Its intentions are powerful and effective. It becomes a laser, a phase-coherent beam of light, a beam in which every wave precisely reinforces every other. A whole personality is not like a laser. A laser is like a whole personality. Lasers are the reflection in physical reality of an energy dynamic that, until very recently, has not been central to the human experience. The development of the laser in the middle part of this century reflects within the physical arena a dynamic that is central to what our species is evolving into. We are evolving into a species of whole individuals, individuals who are aware of their nature as beings of light and who shape their light consciously, wisely, and with compassion. Therefore, the physical phenomenon of phase-coherent light, light that does not struggle with itself, so to speak, has come into being. It is a new phenomenon to the human experience, and it reflects the new energy dynamic of the whole human. The achievements of science, in other words, do not reflect the laboratory capabilities of individuals or nations, but the spiritual capability of our species. Intentions affect more than relationships. Intentions set into motion processes that affect every aspect of your life. If you desire to change your job, for example, that change begins with the intention to change. As the intention to leave your present job emerges into your subconscious, you begin to open yourself to the possibility of working somewhere else or doing something else. You begin to find less and less at home in what you are doing. Your higher self has begun to search for your next job. When the opportunity appears, you are ready to accept it. You may require additional time to step into the new situation consciously to make it your own, because it is human nature to resist change. But if you accept it, your intention will manifest physically. It will assume a physical form. Decisions such as where to work and whom to partner with and where to live are not the only type of decisions that you make, nor are they decisions that have the most influence upon your life. At each instant, you make decisions in the form of your attitudes about the universe, about other people, and about yourself. You make these decisions continually, and your experiences at each moment are created by them. You are a decision-making being. A single choice to challenge your anger and replace it with understanding does not immediately change these attitudes, but it brings them through your feelings into awareness. And as you make the decisions of your life consciously and responsibly and wisely, Your attitudes come to reflect your decisions. Eventually, the deepest decision-making processes within you, those that shape from moment to moment the light that flows through you, become aligned with what you choose consciously, just as they are aligned before you choose awareness with what you choose unconsciously. You create your reality with your intentions. How does this happen? Intentions shape light. They set light into motion. Each intention, anger, greed, jealousy, compassion, understanding, sets energy into motion, sets patterns of light into motion. Physical matter is the densest or heaviest level of light. Physical reality is not a dead and empty stage on which life evolves. Every physical form, as well as every non-physical form, is light that has been shaped by consciousness. No form exists apart from consciousness. There is not one planet in the universe that does not have an active level of consciousness, although it may not be what we recognize as consciousness. Physical reality and the organisms and the forms within physical reality are systems of light within systems of light, and this light is the same light as the light of your soul. Each of these systems of light is shaped by consciousness. The physical reality of the Earth School is shaped by the decisions of those who are in it. What is the relationship between physical reality and the choices that you make in your life? Reality is a multi-layered creation. No two people have the same reality. The first layer of your reality is your personal reality. This is your personal life, your personal sphere of influence. Here your decisions are most effective and are felt directly. By choosing to feel kindness instead of coldness, you change the frequency of your consciousness, and this changes your experience. Within your personal reality, you can choose to be selfish or to be giving, to look upon yourself and others brutally or with compassion, to serve yourself or to serve others and the earth. Each of these decisions shapes the light that flows through you and creates the reality within you. This reality spills over into the realities of those around you. The second layer of your reality is your family. When individual human souls come together, they form a group energy field, a merger of soul energy in a group. Therefore, the decisions that you make within your personal reality, such as the decision to be giving, or to be selfish, or the decision to be angry or to be understanding, contribute to the shaping of the reality that you share with your family. The same is true for each member of your family. Your father's dependability or drunkenness, for example, contributes to this level of your reality, as does your mother's timidness or assertiveness, and your sister's jealousy or support, etc. As you move into this layer of your reality, you move into an atmosphere that includes others within your life. While it is also personal, you are beginning to move outward from the intimacy of your personal reality. The next layer of your reality is your school or the place where you work. This level of reality is also a co-creation and is more impersonal than the reality that you share with your family. Not all of the perceptions that are central to your personal reality are central to this reality. For example, you may have discovered that when you pray you get answers, but this perception is not necessary to the functioning of your university or your business. It may not be appropriate to share this perception with the person sitting beside you in the lecture hall or with the receptionist in the front office. The next layer of your reality includes those people that you come into contact with or with in the course of your living, such as the people from whom you buy your airline tickets, the people at the grocery store, and the bus drivers and the merchants in your town. The beliefs that you hold as a participant in this and other more impersonal layers of your reality also are not all as intimate and personal as the beliefs that you hold in your personal reality. In these arenas, you share your personal beliefs that you feel are more aligned with the larger general atmosphere of beliefs upon our planet. In other words, as you move outward from your personal reality, you move outward in bands of energy that are shared by more and more individuals with whom you have a great deal in common vibrationally. Most individuals, for example, understand city and urban area. Most individuals understand Europe and United States. These are shared collective perceptions, but they are not shared as widely as the perception of water and air, which are universal perceptions upon our planet. Not all the people on our planet know that there is a place called Europe. Europe is a majority perception upon our planet, but not a universal perception such as air. Consciously receiving answers to prayers is not a majority perception upon our planet. Therefore, you are free to tell the people at the grocery store that you hear answers when you pray, but you may decide not to share that perception for your own sense of safety because you realize that there are consciousnesses that may not be able to accept that. The next layer of your reality is your city, your town or city. The next is your state or area of the country. And the next is your culture or nation. A nation is an aspect of the personality of Gaia, the Earth's soul, which itself is developing its personality and soulhood. The Earth's soul, that's so cool. The group dynamic that is the United States is a personality aspect of Gaia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. As is the group dynamic that is Canada, and the group dynamic that is Greenland, and the group dynamic that is each nation. The individual human souls that participate in the evolution of these aspects of Gaia form these group energy dynamics, and at the same time their own developments are served by the karmic energy properties of these nations. Consider the United States, for example, as simply one unit of energy that is evolving with a particular consciousness. The individual souls that pass through this collective consciousness expands it, creates actions, creates thoughts forms, creates causes and effects, and that is how it actually accumulates karma. The relationship of these souls to their nation is like that of cells to a body. Your consciousness affects every cell in your body, and every cell in your body affects your consciousness. There is a mutuality. Each individual in the collective consciousness that is called the United States can be thought of as a cell in this nation in dialogue. The Earth School and the Earth are not the same. The Earth is a planet. With or without humanity, it would be. The purpose of the planet is double, so to speak. It has its own evolution. The part of its evolution includes the housing of a species called human. The Earth has agreed to interact with the human species and to allow the development of its species to merge with its own consciousness. Part of this agreement can be understood as an agreement that matter will be co-created upon this planet with the consciousness of the Earth. Since the Earth now has creative residents, it responds to their energy. Our species and the Earth form a mutual response system. This happens in the same way that nature exists and is also a co-creative adventure. As you continue to move outward through the layers of your reality, they become more and more impersonal. The next layer of your reality is your race. If you are Black, your soul, has chosen to participate in the evolution of what it is to be a Black human. Your experiences of exhilaration, anger, wisdom, or kindness help to shape this impersonal energy dynamic. The next layer is your sex. If you are female, you have chosen to participate in the evolution of femininity within the human species. If you look upon this structure as an inverted pyramid with your personal reality at the bottom, and each layer of your reality above your personal reality as more inclusive and more impersonal. The outermost layer, the broadest and most impersonal layer, is humanity, the experience of being human. As an individual, you participate in group experiences simultaneously with being an individual, just as you can simultaneously be a man, a father, and a husband, or a woman, a wife, and a mother. These experiences are all simultaneous. Some of them are collective and some of them are individual. You can have an individual experience as a father, for example, and an occupation as a baseball player with a team. There you participate in a group energy system. You contribute to the creation and the evolution of each of these collective consciousnesses in which you participate. If a person is French, he or she contributes to the evolution of the group consciousness that is called French. If a person is Catholic, he or she contributes to the group consciousness that is called Catholic. In other words, the dynamic of creating reality operates at more than one level. While you are here, you participate in the creation of both personal reality and impersonal reality. Just as you can participate in the creation of a building that will remain long after you are gone, you participate in the evolution of group energy dynamics that will remain after you are gone. Creating a building is a group effort. Several souls participate in the construction of that reality. It is built with group energy and not with just individual energy. Therefore, it has an existence that is independent of each of the individuals that built it. In the same way, you are participating in the evolution of the United States. Yet when you die, this place called United States will continue. You are connected in layers and through layers to your experience. As you advance from the individual experience of your own life into the larger experience of the family of which you are a part and beyond, you move into dynamics of group energy. The group dynamic of the family is part of the larger group dynamic of the community, which is part of the larger group dynamic of the nation. Group dynamics advance through the system, and the entire system, the entire inverted pyramid, is the soul of the human species. The soul of the human species is sometimes called the collective unconscious, but it is not that. It is the soul of humankind. Your soul is a miniature of the soul of the human species. It is a micro of a macro. It has as much individual energy and power. As part of the micro, you have all the power of the macro calibrated into an individual form of certain frequencies. You form collective energies that help the whole evolve, although they are not themselves souls and do not have souls. In between the micro and the macro are the various experiences afforded that individual human soul learning within a group, participating in group evolution, such as the evolution of your country, your religion, and the individual personal experiences that compromise the human experience. As you move down from the top layer of the inverted pyramid to the layer beneath it, your experience reduces from being a part of the whole of human evolution to being a part of the evolution of male or female energy. In the next layer down, you become part of the evolution of Caucasian or Negro or Mongoloid. In the next layer down, you are part of the evolution of the energy field of the United States. In the next layer down, you are part of the evolution of an individual whose experiences will include an aspect that participates in the evolution of military, an aspect that participates in an evolution of teacher, an aspect that participates in the evolution of father, and so on. Layer by layer, that is what the reality of each individual looks like. From the top layer, which is all humanity, all humanness, each layer down locates you more individually and more specifically. The most impersonal consciousness, the human species, is the first layer. This consciousness then takes on personal attributes. It is personal that you are part of the United States. It is personal that you are a white male part of the United States or a brown female part. These are parts of your personal experience and characteristics that serve the evolution of the whole. A university, by analogy, is a group dynamic. Each of the schools of a university, undergraduate, business, medicine, law, is also a group energy system, a less inclusive collective of group energy of souls in evolution. What happens within the schools affects the whole of the university itself. Then within a particular school, there is the experience of a certain class, which is more personal, and after that, the experience of the student himself or herself, which is intimately personal. The reality of each individual is created by his or her intentions and the intentions of others. What we think of as a physical reality that we share is an intermingling or a formation a massive overlay of appropriate realities. It is a fluid, massive consciousness in which each of us exists independently of each other and yet coexists interdependently with each other. What we as a species and as individuals are now becoming aware of is the effect of consciousness on this process. I think I may have mispronounced Gaia. I'm going to see Gaia.
Gaia.
Gaia. Gaia. It's Gaia, not Gaia. Gaia, the earth's soul. Gaia. Well, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. The pyramid and the layers. I do feel like my intention, that's why I pray and I meditate every day, is to set my intention. And then, of course, I need a lot of readjustment throughout the day. So I do it in the morning to start, but then I stop during the day and I take a moment to pray or meditate, even if it's just for a couple of seconds, even to reset my intention. I don't know that I've ever called it the intention before, though. I think I'm just trying to stay on a certain level of serenity. A lot to think about. So, what are your thoughts on intention? There's the next chapter, chapter 8, is called Intention 2. And I was going to include it in this video, but it's several pages and I don't want the video to be too long. And I feel like they're separate chapters for a reason, because we're supposed to stop and pause in between and think about what we just read. So that's what I'm going to do today. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.